What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and yesterday I posted an early box opening of Dawn of Majesty, and in that box opening I pulled two different Beetrooper cards, a spell and a trap, but I didn't pull any of the monsters. Luckily, other people opened boxes of Dawn of Majesty that had more copies of Beetrooper cards in their packs, so now we know the entire archetype. And let me tell you right now, this archetype is going to change insect monsters forever. At the moment, this deck probably doesn't have enough tools to stand on its own as like a pure Beetrooper deck, but they can be combined with so many different insect archetypes that I'm pretty sure it's only a matter of time before these cards see competitive play. And I especially feel this way because we know that the new Inzektor spell card from the Create a Card poll will be released in the Grand Creators coming out later on in 2021. So I think if these cards haven't seen play by that time, they probably will when that new card is released, assuming that card is pretty good. Anyway, let's take a look at the Beetrooper archetype in today's video. Remember that we did have one of them revealed a little while ago. This was the promo card for the premiere events. So this is Beetrooper Scout Buggy, a level 3 wind insect effect monster with 1000 attack and 300 defense. This card says you cannot special summon monsters except insect monsters. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon one Beetrooper Scout Buggy from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only use this effect of Beetrooper Scout Buggy once per turn. So when this card was revealed, a lot of people, myself included, thought it looked very good, and I didn't even know that there was an entire Beetrooper archetype. I thought as a standalone card, Beetrooper Scout Buggy already looked pretty good. But let's take a look at the other Beetrooper cards, because let me tell you, this card gets even better. By the way, the graphics in today's video are from Yu-Gi-Oh! News TCG on Twitter. Make sure to give them a follow. And I believe the card images are mostly from Rev's cards opening. He pulled a ton of Beetroopers, and one of them is from the Cali effects. So make sure to give those guys a follow as well. Anyway, first up we have Beetrooper Scale Bomber, a level 3 fire insect effect monster with 1200 attack and 2000 defense. This card says if an insect monster or monsters is normal or special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. When a monster your opponent controls activates its effect, quick effect, you contribute one insect monster, destroy it. You can only use each effect of Beetrooper Scale Bomber once per turn. So this card is a free extender for basically any insect deck. You could go into a rank 3, you could go into a link monster, and you'll see in a moment this archetype does have 2 link monsters. That quick effect is pretty cool as well. Keep in mind you don't have to tribute the Scale Bomber itself. You can tribute another insect monster, which is great. You'll see in a moment here that their field spell produces insect tokens that are great for tributing with the Scale Bomber effect. So already you guys can kind of tell the direction that this deck is going. The 2 insects that we've looked at so far are level 3, and they're great for link summoning or exceed summoning. So you can kind of understand how these cards would work with Inzektor cards or digital bug cards or cards like that. This could be really big insect support, but let's look at the other cards as well. The only other main deck monster is Beetrooper Sting Lancer, a level 7 wind insect effect monster with 2400 attack and 1800 defense. This card says during the main phase quick effect, you can target one insect monster in your graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, place the targeted monsters on the bottom of the decks. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Beetrooper spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Beetrooper Sting Lancer once per turn. Now this might look like a going second card because ideally you want to special summon it with its own effect, and that requires you and your opponent to have a monster in the graveyard. But I think it's pretty likely that your opponent will hand trap you, and as long as that hand trap was a monster card, not like infinite impermanence or whatever, Sting Lancer could theoretically be special summoned on turn 1 when you go first. And I think that is a pretty big deal. This deck already has a tour guide type card, which is already going to be a magnet for cards like Veiler and Ash, so Sting Lancer could be special summoned on turn 1 pretty consistently if your opponent is playing hand traps. At the moment we have one Beetrooper spell and one Beetrooper trap. I actually pulled both of these cards in my box opening video as my only Beetroopers, but just in case you guys missed that, here's what they do. Beetrooper Formation is the field spell. It says you can target one Beetrooper monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it cannot attack this turn. Also, you lose life points equal to its original attack. If a face-up insect monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, effect, you can special summon one Beetrooper token, insect, earth, level 3, attack 1000, defense 1000. You can only use each effect of Beetrooper formation once per turn. So this card is great. The tokens are very useful. You can tribute them for Scale Bomber, you could use them for link summons, and the recursion effect is crazy good because it doesn't negate the monster's ability, which means if you bring back a Scout Buggy from the graveyard, you can bring out another Scout Buggy as well. So Beetrooper formation is kind of like a free rank 3 or link 2 every single turn. Bringing back Beetrooper Sting Lancer is great as well, because then you can search a Beetrooper spell or trap card. You could add another copy of formation if you wanted to, but I feel like you'd rather search the counter trap in most situations. Beetrooper Fly and Sting is their counter trap. It says when your opponent activates a monster effect while you control a Beetrooper monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. During your end phase, if this card is in your graveyard and you control an insect monster with 3000 or more attack, you can banish one insect monster from your graveyard, set this card. You can only use one Beetrooper Fly and Sting effect per turn and only once that turn. This card is great. It's basically a Salamangreat Roar, but the resetting effect doesn't banish it after you use it, so you can use it over and over again, which is obviously very powerful. These spell and trap cards are great. Remember, they are searchable with the previous monster card we looked at, and I think they're going to make the Beetroopers very playable. Now, the last two Beetrooper cards are link monsters, and these are really the cards that encourage you to combine Beetroopers with other insect decks. Beetrooper Armor Horn is a link 2 monster that takes 2 insect monsters, and it has 1000 attack. It says you cannot special summon monsters except insect monsters. You can only use each of the following effects of Beetrooper Armor Horn once per turn. During your main phase, you can, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one insect monster. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 3 other insect monsters from your graveyard, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Holy shit, this card is crazy good. It's a Nightmare Goblin that can revive itself, and that is fantastic because it means you could use the double summon to bring out another insect, use Armor Horn for a link summon, and then bring back the Armor Horn immediately. That makes it pretty easy to link summon higher link rating monsters, which is great because their big boss monster is a link 4. Keep in mind the field spell could also bring this card back every single turn if you don't have enough insect monsters to banish. Beetrooper Armor Horn is insanely powerful, and even if the Beetrooper archetype in general doesn't see play, I'm pretty sure that Beetrooper Armor Horn will see competitive play at some point in the future. Finally, we have Giant Beetrooper Invincible Atlas, their big boss monster. This is a link 4 that takes 2+ insect monsters, and it has 3000 attack, which of course is the magic number for that trap card to reset itself. This card says while this link summoned card has 3000 or less attack, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You cannot special summon monsters except insect monsters. You contribute one insect monster, then activate one of these effects. Either special summon one Beetrooper monster from your deck, or this card gains 2000 attack until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Giant Beetrooper Invincible Atlas once per turn. This card is great. It has a really powerful protection effect, can't be targeted or destroyed, and you contribute insect monsters, maybe even the token cards from the field spell, to either special summon any Beetrooper monster from your deck, or give this card 2000 attack points. Now keep in mind here, if you give it the 2000 attack points, it no longer will have the protection effect. So that is kind of an interesting decision point. Do you want to give this card more attack points to make it a lot less protected? That'll be up to you to decide in each individual situation, but personally, I'm pretty sure most people won't want to give up the protection effect even for one turn, so I think they'll probably just use this card to special summon a Beetrooper monster from their deck. But it is very good, and it does have that added versatility of potentially being able to OTK the opponent if it goes up to 5000 attack. So that is the entire Beetrooper archetype. These cards look crazy good. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.